Good morning, good morning, good morning. You know what today is? Monday morning chats with Zach. Zach is me. I hope that you guys had a phenomenal weekend. I hope that you guys had a great Thanksgiving if you did celebrate. And I just hope that you got a chance to just look back and just think about all the things that you're grateful for. I'm just so grateful for life. One of my classmates from middle school was murdered the week of Thanksgiving. And it just really made me think about life and not to take anything for granted. It's easy to think about the things that I don't have. It's easy to do that. But I think that when you hear things like that, someone losing their life, someone getting ill, it makes you look at life in a different way. And it makes you appreciate things more. I've always been appreciative. But it just made me just say I'm thankful. I'm thankful for my health. I'm thankful for my family. I'm thankful for waking up. That's like the number one gift, just to wake up, because some people didn't wake up today. Some people didn't wake up yesterday. I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful that I have the ability to make a difference. And when I talk about things that I'm grateful for, it's not about the materialistic things. I could tell you about my car. I can tell you about my house. But those things are okay. But I'm thankful, honestly, that I'm in a position in my life where I'm able to do for others. And it's not just a financial thing, but honestly a spiritual thing. I facilitate a Bible study. I read the word more. I teach students. I teach law students. I am grooming future lawyers. And that is everything to me. I give back to my community all the time. And one thing I do, especially during the holiday season, is that before I purchase any gifts for family, I always make sure I purchase gifts for a family that's in need. And I've been doing this for the last, I want to say, almost 10 years? No, actually, since I started law school in 2010. It all started from me and my roommate going to Walmart right before a final, just getting some snacks and, just whatever we need. And I remember there was like a Salvation Army truck that was gathering toys for children in need. And if you were interested, there was an angel list. So there was a list of toys that families in need that they requested. And so me and my roommate, we were broke law students. And even though $20 may not be a lot, that was a lot for someone else. And so we did that. We made sure that we purchased something that we can afford on that list, even though it meant that some of the things that we had on our list couldn't get purchased because we didn't have money, but we were able to give back to someone else. And ever since that, I've been making it an effort to always purchase toys or gifts for a family that's in need. I've been doing that since 2010 and before I even purchase things for my family. So it is a great feeling, and I challenge you to do so if you are in a financial capacity to do so. You don't even have to purchase expensive gifts. You can go to $5 and below, and you'd be surprised a $5 toy can brighten up a child's life. You'd be surprised. And so I just challenge you to do so. If you have clothes that you no longer fit or you just no longer want anymore, I know that donating clothes to Salvation Army or the Goodwill, it could be a tax write-off. But also I want you to consider giving clothes to rehab centers or detention centers for young girls or young boys, because they really need it. And you can actually get a tax write-off for that. If you know someone that works at those facilities, please reach out to them. And so that way you can schedule time to drop the clothes off, and they'll be sure to give it to the residents. That's what I do. And it fills my heart. It fills my heart. So I'm grateful for those things. Those are the things that I'm grateful, and I'm just so thankful. I thought about what I wanted to talk about, right? It's a lot of things. I'm not sure if I need another chat to have another conversation about this, but I had a conversation with my niece. My niece came to my house for Thanksgiving, and I'm just so appreciative of her mother allowing her to share her with me for the holidays, because that's her daughter, right? And so we talked about, every time we're together, we always talk about education. We always talk about goals and the things that you want for yourself and how to always move forward. And as you reach new levels of success, there may not be people that's going to be happy for you because most times they don't get it, right? They don't understand it. And I had to explain that to her. I said, you know, you had to get to the point in your life where you can't expect people to cheer you on. You just can't. And even though you want to, sometimes it could be family, sometimes it could be friends, but everybody's not going to be happy for the decisions that you make for yourself. And even though there are great decisions that you make for yourself, people may never be happy for you. And so you have to learn to just pat yourself on your back and say, job well done, and just keep moving forward. And I told her that if you believe in God and you trust Him, just know that He will bring people to your life that will help you along the way. Because I believe that we shouldn't do life alone. So you'll have great friends, you'll have great partnerships. That's going to help you get to your next level. Because I believe that success is never done in isolation. I read something on social media that said, children make mistakes and adults make decisions. And so when I read that, it made me to believe that adults can make mistakes. I agree, and I also disagree. I think that some people do mess up in life, right? People mess up. I do believe that some people deserve second chances. I think that sometime when you see someone making a decision, most times it's not about you as a person. And it's more so trying to understand where that person is coming from. We all have different battles. We all have different life experiences that make us act in a certain way. And yes, I truly believe that when you get to a certain place in your life, you should know better, right? And I'm realizing that, honestly, there's some people that's in their 30s and some people that's in their 40s that, even though I think and know that they should do better, honestly, they don't really know. And it makes me think, who's around you that's holding you accountable, right? Because if children make mistakes and adults make decisions, what are you deciding? And have you really thought about it, right? Have you really thought about these things? And I truly believe that people do things because they want to, right? If someone doesn't have a job, if they wake up and say, hey, I want to get a job, they will apply to a job because that's what they want to do. If you invite somebody somewhere and they make a decision not to go, that's because they don't want to go. And it may not be nothing against you. If you call someone and they don't answer, that's because they don't want to answer. If you text someone and they don't respond, that's because they didn't want to respond. Now, there are some exceptions where sometimes you have bad service, just don't get it. I know, and sometime with my phone, well, thank God I had T-Mobile now, so let's see how this works compared to having Sprint. There are times where I would not get the call, would not get the text message, so I did not purposely mean not to respond. But I do think you have to come to a place in your life where you realize, hey, I keep doing the same thing over and over again. This is my behavior over and over again. And what would you wake up and just say, hey, you know what? If I keep doing this, actually, I'm implicitly making this decision to act in this way. I hate using this term, but I think this can apply to anyone. Like this whole term about fuckboys or a woman that could be promiscuous, whatever. You make those decisions, right? You make that decision. And at this point in my life, and I think that once you experience life, or got a taste of what life is like, due to your experiences, you had to ask yourself, is this helping me? Why am I doing this? Right? And sometimes I check my own self and say, okay, I'm doing this because, right? Because you get to the point where my goal for anybody that I'm around is to grow, to be a better person than it was yesterday, and to really trust the process. But you had to ask yourself, okay, do I want better? Last week I was like really sitting in my bed, and I didn't want to get up just yet. I was fully awake, and I just started thinking about people that I know and said, wow, they have never changed. And that wasn't a bad way. Like their behavior, it just never changed. It's funny when I hear people talk about they will go to church, or I will hear people talk about, going to therapy. And while all those things are good, what happens when you leave therapy? What happens when you leave the church? What happens when you talk to your accountability partner? Are you making changes? And don't get me wrong, changes doesn't happen overnight. But are you making steps to change? And I realized that none of those things don't matter if you're not trying to make change. And I would hear people talk about therapy, and I remember before I went to therapy, I would hear people say, "Why already went to therapy?" And it was like they went to therapy for this one thing, and now they believe they don't need therapy anymore. But honestly, I believe that therapy is a continuous thing. I believe that that's something that you will always need. And I say that because in life you go through different things, and healing is not linear. And so while you may go to therapy for one thing, the question I always ask myself when people say, I went to therapy, I already did my bid in therapy, I talked about the things that I need to heal, it always makes me question, were you honest with your therapist? Did you tell your therapist everything that bothers you? Or it was at a surface? Like you just knew that I can tell my therapist A, B, and C, but I'm not going to tell them D, E, F, G. I'm not going to tell them the rest of the things. I want them to only focus on these things. And I just realized that when people say, hey, I'm done with therapy, I'm like, okay, is there anything else you need to talk about? Because I realize there's some things that in life where you just can't talk to your best friend about, you just can't talk to a family member about, or a friend. You actually need to talk to somebody. And that's not a bad thing. And I think it's a taboo in the Black community about therapy. Now it's becoming more of a popular thing, but I just know like in 80s and 90s and, in earlier years, that was something that was frowned upon, because if you go to therapy, you are assumed to be someone that is mentally ill. And sometimes it's not. Some people process things differently where they need someone to talk to. And so I just question, and it's something you can ask yourself, if you went to therapy and you're not in therapy anymore, did you tell your therapist everything? I actually had to do a checkup with my therapist. We told each other we'll do like a quarterly check. And I'm like 2 months off. And that's because me with my new insurance, but I'm going to make that effort I'm going to actually do it today. Just to tell her my progress, just tell her how I've been, because it's just a good thing to just like, check up with her. I told you guys she tried to break up with me, and I told her that I want therapy a part of my way of living. I can go to a masseuse to get a massage. I can go to an esthetician to get my facial. I go to, and that's because to keep the upkeep of my skin, a massage to help me manage stress. And I go to the hairdresser. My hair's not done now. I went to the gym this morning. My hair's not done now. But go to the hairdresser to keep my hair done and to keep my braids away. I go to the gym to stay in shape and make sure I keep off the weight. I kept off 20 pounds. And so this is the first time in a long time that I've been under 140 pounds. So this has been great. So I've been managing that for some time. So I do all these things to keep the upkeep of my skin, my stress, my weight, my hair. But what about my mental health? So I told my therapist, like, hey, I want this a part of my everyday life. I want this a part of my life, right? When it's time for me to get married, it's time for me to have kids. Yeah, damn right. I'm going to need a therapist because I want to know how to manage this new life for myself. I want to learn how to manage that. I don't want to make any excuse. I want to learn how to manage it. So I've always learned that if there's something that I need help with, I know that there's a resource out there. And for me, I'm going to find it. Like, that's just who I am. I'm going to find it. And I hope that you do this exact same thing. So I think that adults do make mistakes. And sometimes some adults, they don't even know that they're making mistakes. But you make a decision when if you don't watch the company that you keep. And sometimes I think people know that other people are bad for them. They just don't know how to walk away. And I just hope that people get the strength to do so. The next thing I want to talk about is jealousy. Jealousy, I think, is such a weak emotion. And I would talk to my mom about this, and I thought about this a lot, and I went through this a lot in high school. I want to say mainly in freshman year. I didn't have too many problems in Philly, but when I lived in Florida, when I went to college, or just family members, like, jealousy is a weak emotion. And I always question, what would make someone jealous of someone? Sometimes it's not even the idea that they want to be just like this person, or they want to have the same things. Sometimes, honestly, people are jealous of you because of the opportunities that came your way and then come their way. And I told my nieces, I said, she looks up to me. One time she told me she inspires to be like, I tell her, just be better than me. But it's one thing to see what I've accomplished. And I've accomplished a lot. And I'm humbly saying that. And there's some things that I accomplished that some people would never know unless they ask me or have a conversation with me. But I just think that, this whole idea of jealousy, people can be jealous of you based on the opportunities that come your way. People don't know how many times I pray. People don't know the relationships that I have created. Sustainable relationships. Me keeping my word. Me being the person that I am. It's to the point now opportunities just come to me. I don't even have to ask for them. Some people are jealous because they see you living a life that they wish that they had. And I'm here to tell you that you can really create the life that you want for yourself. You really can. But the question is, are you going to be lazy and not move forward and not do anything to make it happen? Yeah, I'm a lawyer, but I failed the bar 3 times. I had to go through some stuff to get here. Yeah, I'm a professor, but I didn't become a professor overnight. I had to work, bust my ass to get the position that I have now. And if you don't know, the legal academy is very competitive. Very competitive. So this spot that I have, that was nothing but God. This spot that I had, it's because I prayed for it. And so when I hear people, especially family, when I hear family members say like little sarcastic things about me, I'm just like, you see the glory, but you don't even know my story. And even though you're related to me, you don't know anything about me. You just see the things that I've accomplished and just assume that I am this particular type of way because of what you heard about what lawyers are. And I'm here to tell you that sometimes people are jealous because they don't love their self. And I just got to the point where if it's family or if it's people that I was friends with, if you don't like me, I really don't give a damn. You can choke. And I mean that, and I am a Christian, and I mean well. But I got to the point where instead of being frustrated about why people are jealous of me or why people don't like me and when I think about it, they have no logic answer. They have no logic answer. I never forget one time, someone, I forgot who it was, if it was a family or friend. That's how you could tell I just really don't care. This person told me, like, you think that you're all that. No, you think that. But do I feel like I'm confident with myself? Absolutely. But you think I'm all that. So if you think I'm all that, I must be doing something right. If you think that. I don't get it. I don't get it. But I just think that when it comes to jealousy, it's a weak emotion. So you have to ask yourself, if you are a jealous person, you got to ask yourself, what does that person have that you don't have? And what is it that that person have that you don't have that you can't get it? You can get it. Anything that someone else has that I don't have, I can have it. But the question is, am I ready for it? I may not be ready for it. Or I may not even want it, right? I may not even want it. And so you have to, if you are a jealous person, you have to tell yourself that you should be comfortable in your own skin. Look in the mirror and be happy for who you are. And if there's things that you do want in your life, you can get it. But the question is, are you going to work for it? Are you going to make an excuse to say why you can't have it? Why? There's some family members that I have, no matter how many times I invite them for the family function. And the one thing about me, I throw bomb parties and I'm always doing something to bring the family together. But I have family members, no matter how many times I invite them, I can invite them to 20 events over the last 5 years. They will never come. They will never come. I can reach out to them and say, hey, I'm checking up on you. Sometime they get a response. Sometime I will not. And so the one thing that I've trained myself to do, and I'm still training myself because I'm human. I get frustrated because I always think about, dang, all it takes is for you to respond. All it takes is for you to be supportive. And support doesn't mean financial. Sometimes support just means just showing up. And I got to the point where I realized that no matter how much you try, no matter how much you are a great person to people, no matter how kind you are, there's some people that are not happy with themselves. And so no matter how much you try to show them love, no matter how much you try to be kind and patient with them, they will never change. And so for me to avoid the frustration, like, dad, like, why don't they support? Why do they have these jealous emotions? I realized that, hey, I can't get frustrated with that. That's their own story. They had to learn how to deal with it and learn how to manage their own emotions. And once they learn how to manage their own emotions and know how to be comfortable within their own skin, then yes, maybe we can have a conversation. Yes, maybe we can have a relationship. But until then, I've learned that to control that. And it goes for anybody. If I feel I'm an empath, right? I can feel when something is not right with somebody. You don't even have to tell me. I can feel it. That's just, I guess it's just one of my gifts. Like, I can tell if I call one of my friends and I'm like, hey, how's it going? Like, I'm just always cheery and just uppity. Like, I'm just really excited about life. And so if you call me, I'm like, hey, how's it going? Unless you, like, wake me up out of my sleep, I'm not going to be so excited. And I can tell when someone is off. Like, I can tell when, yeah, they're not having a good day. Yeah, they're not going to tell me, but that's just who I am. I can pay attention to that. Or if you walk into my house, I'm like, yes, something's not right. And my goal is, hey, can I get it out of you? Or do you want to talk about it? Or you just want to stay in silence? Do you need for me to just listen? Whatever it is, that's just the gift that I have. And sometimes if I am talking to someone on the phone or a text message, sometimes I can feel that, hey, this person is going through something. But then I realized that there's some people where I could reach out just being a kind person that I am. And it's frustrating when you say, hey, I hope you're doing well. And I know people are going through things. Then I realized, like, some people just have no freaking manners. Like, just respond. Just say, hey, I'm well. Some people just don't respond. Now, some people have their own issues or they're dealing with things. I get that. But if you don't have that, like, just no manners. And so I've learned to control that frustration and realize, like, hey, some people are just going through their own thing. Some people, that doesn't matter to them. Some people just don't want to talk. And for those people that are like that, I just hope and pray that you can control your emotions a little bit. And I'm going to control my frustration just a little bit. But yeah, that's all I have. And I would just say that be really careful of people that are jealous of you, that's in your space, because it can really affect you. I want people to judge me not by my career. I don't want people to judge me by the clothes that I wear, because I don't wear expensive stuff. I want you to judge me on my character. And I want you to judge me based on the people that I walked away from. I want you to judge me based on the people I decided not to have a connection with. Because it says a lot about me. I don't have a relationship with some family members. And I told my grandmom that I'm absolutely okay. I'm absolutely okay with that. And it hurts because, I said this in one of my videos, that people don't talk about that type of grief. Most times people talk about the grief from losing someone because of a death. But no one really talks about the strength that it took to make the decision to cut a family member off. Like, to really cut them off, right? That no one talks about that. That takes a lot, because you fight with yourself on a constant basis. Like, did I make the right decision, right? And no one talks about, once you make that decision, that grieving process, because you still miss that person, you still love that person, but you realize that just because we're family, just because we blood, don't make us related. I want to be surrounded by people that are good-minded people, that are positive, that are full of love, that are encouraging, where we can support each other. I don't want someone that is trying to be mischievous or just trying to do things to bring me down. I just don't want that. That goes for family, that goes for friends, that goes for colleagues. If you're like that, I gotta cut you off. And I learned to be okay. Like, I did a Bible study last year about who's coming to the cookout. I am okay with telling people you are absolutely not invited. Like, I'm absolutely okay. Like, you are not invited. I hadn't explained anything. Hey, I'm having a holiday party in a few weeks for my family. And there's some family members, I don't care if we're cousins. I don't care if you are my aunt, uncle. If you're negative and I don't want to be around you and I don't want that negative energy, I'm not inviting you. It's a absolutely no. It's a hell no. You can't come. No. I like to say absolutely in front of my nots because it just sounds better, but absolutely not. You can't come. No. You can't come at all. And that's fine. I can make the decision to know who I want around me. I can make the decision who I want to be in my house. I pay the mortgage. So I make that decision, right? I make that decision who walks into my house. I make the decision who I have conversations with, right? I make the decision on who I spend my time with. Those things matter. And as you get older, you think about the people that you spend your time with. You think about the people that you invest in. You think about the people that you're surrounded with. All those things, man. The people that you date, the people that you love, the people that you do business with, all those, the people that you go on vacation with, all those things have to matter. It has to matter. And it has to make sense. And so I hope that you are in this season of being grateful. I hope that if there's anything that you believe that you lack, you can get it. But the question is, are you ready for it? And sometimes it's easy to look at someone else's life to see what they have and compare it to yours. But comparison is a thief of joy. And so if there's things that you want in your life, you can have it. It's just sometimes you just may not be ready for it, right? It's like God has this gift for you, right? It's like right here. But you are right here. Like you're far away from it. And it's not saying the gift is not going anywhere. The blessing is not going anywhere. But maybe you didn't reach this level of maturity to get it. So if you're jealous because of something that someone else has, you got to ask yourself, are you even ready for this? Like some people say, hey, I want to be married by 30. But are you even ready for that? Right? I want a kid before I'm 30. Are you ready for that? I knew that I did not want kids in my 20s. I damn sure don't think I was even ready for marriage in my 20s. But other people did, and that's fine. I just knew for me, right? Because the person that I compete with is the person that I see when I look in the mirror, and that's myself. Always figuring out what can I do to be better, but I'm also giving myself grace and knowing that, hey, I can't just make this, 180 and just be this totally complete different person. I'm human. I have feelings. And I'm going through the process to become a better person. Do I make strides? Absolutely. Am I going backwards? No. Going forward, not backwards. And so I just hope that you really think about those things, right? And if there are people around that's jealous, like, you gotta really be mindful of that. And maybe you should, like, get the scissors and cut them out, because no one doesn't need that. And I just hope that you look at your life and just be grateful for everything that you do have. That's it. I pray that you have a great day. I pray that you have a great Monday. I pray that you have a great week. This is Monday, so I would like to shout out to all the dope men out there. You are amazing. You are great. I hope that you're able to communicate and express how you feel to people. I hope that vulnerability becomes like a good thing, a popular thing for you guys, where you're able to show vulnerability to people, because it's not a weakness, it is a strength. And I just hope that you never forget how amazing you are. Take care, guys. Have a great Monday and just have a fantastic week. Take care.